In the aftermath of the ultimate betrayal on Monday Night Raw, could Seth Rollins find his shield from the most unlikely of allies? And could Paul Heyman be bringing in the Beast to take care of the three talents he once led to the Promised Land and then one by one stabbed in the back? And if it's War Games, do these six individuals settle the score on their own? Or do they bring more soldiers to the battlefield? We talk all about it in today's Amped Up Show. Tuesday, the 14th of October of the year 2025. I, of course, your host, B. Motherfucking C, the Amplified Man. Also on today's show, we'll talk Big E, hanging up the boots, and retiring. Ironically and interestingly enough, Ridge Holland, of all people, announcing WWE is not bringing him back. They are indeed parting ways. Ridge Holland getting Das Boot. We'll talk Big E, Ridge Holland, and Maxine Dupri. Little Maxine, she's gotten better, basically. She's improving, huh? She's almost got the drop kick above Becky's knees. You can do it, Maxine. Yeah, Maxine Dupri. You know, we gotta hold her hand and treat her like a charity in WWE. She's got a title match this upcoming week on Monday Night Raw, a championship match for Maxine. And you're not going to believe what fans are already chanting. Oh, you know, if you're a veteran subscriber to this channel, you know what they're chanting. BC already told you what they were going to chant. We're going to talk all about Maxine. Yeah, go Maxine. You can do it. You deserve it. Oh, we'll talk all about it. It's coming up. It's Amped Up. It's your boy BC. Grab your beverages, sit back, max, and relax while BC drops the facts. Well, first of all, a huge day on the channel yesterday, a double upload day. Of course, the Raw review. That went up pretty early because Raw went out to us pretty early, man. For a lot of us, 7, 8, 9 a.m., we were watching Monday Morning Raw because they were still in Australia. So unique. I mean, BC was thinking, listen, all right, if the show is that bad, I can get that out to you guys early and you can go about your days and hopefully try to forget about it. But of course, there was that big Seth Rollins betrayal. So that was the first upload that went up. The Raw review live on the channel. If you haven't checked it out yet, check it out, man. And the other big upload, just hours after the Raw review, a huge update on the Rollins situation, possibly injured, by the way. So we touch up on that. And BC tried to ease everybody's concerns, right? Did this happen too early? There was no real build to this. What about War Games? They just screwed up War Games. And one by one, hopefully, I've eased your concerns. You can still not like the decision. That's fine. You can still give Triple H unleash hell on him. That's fine. You know I'm all for that. He needs to hear that. But BC's going to show you how let's not carry any fake outrage here. Let's not act like the vision was blazing the charts. Let's not act like we're going to lose sleep because the vision imploded a bit. On the other half of that upload, again, this is the second upload yesterday that went out to you guys. The second half to that was, or it ended up being, an amplified rant. It wasn't intended to be, but we talked AJ Styles, John Cena. And how a lot of fans are calling it match of the year. Probably a lot of the same fans that are saying Maxine deserves a championship right now. Because she's getting better and improving, let's throw gold on her. This is where we've set the bar and standards, folks. AJ Styles and John Cena tell you they don't need a story. They go in there, they do every other wrestler's finisher, and we absolutely jerk off the match. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, did we... Oh, it's the greatest thing we've ever seen. A love letter to pro wrestling. It's It's the match of the year, match of the decade. Why stop there? Match of the century. Oh, BC went off on that. Full disclosure, that part of that upload, that was recorded right after my Green Bay Packers defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. So I was really amped up Sunday evening. I went to record that. It ended up being an amplified rant. I should have known. I had a lot of coffee and my Packers just won. So, if you guys like a good rant, yeah, it's the second upload yesterday. You guys will see the thumbnail. Cena Styles was not match of the year. And also in that same thumbnail, fans stunned from Vision Turn. So, check them out, man. Double upload day yesterday. But now on to today's amped up show. Let's start off with this big story, man. Ironically, Big E. And I think he's finally coming to the realization that his in-ring career, it's done. Sadly. Now, when this injury occurred, it was in a matchup with Ridge Holland, and he took I think it was like a belly-to-belly suplex, something like that, on the outside. Ridge didn't really put any oomph into it, and Big E just landed on his dome piece and broke his freaking neck. But when that happened, BC was telling you, when you screw around with the, what was it, like the C2, C3, C4, when you go into that area, it's very hard to come back because the docs are going to tell you it just ain't worth it. Like, you'll never actually, and I don't think he got surgery either, by the way. I think he was in it for the long haul and tried to let it heal on his own, and he was so muscular and he was really in good shape that he could do that and possibly get back into the ring. But I told you guys, everything to BC was screaming that his career's done in the ring. He's done. I did not see him coming back, and the only way that I possibly did is if the surgery was done. That's the only way I could actually see that happening. I don't believe he ended up getting it, by the way. Maybe a minor one, but not the major one that is sometimes recommended to athletes. But either way, it felt like that was it. And that sucked for many reasons, obviously, but Big E is somebody that BC had always said, man, I can't wait till he gets pushed, because Big E has that it factor to me. Like, if he gets a solid push on his own, no New Day. He already made it with the New Day, so we already saw that. But he made it in any role he makes it. I remember he was kind of the muscle behind Dolph Ziggler when he was with AJ Lee, and it just worked. Something about Dolph, Lee, and Big E. And the chemistry was just, it was better than the Vision, for sure, times 20. So whether he's in the New Day, whether he's tied to Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee's shtick, and then when he did get a little bit of his own run, people were digging it. Fans were on board. So this isn't just jumping on the bandwagon knowing that Big E is pretty much calling it a quits now. No, I've said from day one, I'm a massive Big E supporter. I can't wait till he gets the solid push. And then it implodes. You never know in this wrestling thing. You're in there with somebody who's really green, and it's not about placing blame, trust me, but Ridge Holland at that point had already been a little reckless. We already know that. We know the Johnny Gargano story with Ridge Holland and dropping Johnny Gargano on his dome piece. And that's the problem when you take people that are really green. The simplest of it, you think a belly to belly is not going to do something, right? You can belly to belly me. No, not if they're not performing it correctly. Here we are now these years later, and Big E is pretty much now eluding more and more that his in-ring career is done. And the interviews he has been doing lately and what he's been telling fans, is basically his career is indeed done. He is, for all intents and purposes, already retired. Now, asterisk on that. He has not confirmed that. So even if you're BC and you pretty much know, right, the writing's on the wall, he's pretty much done for an in-ring career. Hey, until he confirms it, BC is going to hold out that hope. But I think it's pretty clear that he's done. If he was coming back, it would have been during that whole New Day turn on Big E and turning heel. If they even, I don't even know. That fell to the wayside. Hunter Hearst Helmsley botched that dramatically. That was a really good heel turn by the New Day, by the way. And including Big E was a gem. And it all was for nothing. It's like Helmsley doesn't know what to do afterwards. I'll turn Cena heel. I won't have a plan. We'll call The Rock because we're not selling enough tickets for Elimination Chamber. We'll bring in The Rock. We won't have a plan. We'll have him come out and he'll be there and people will go, whoa, and then they'll forget about it. We'll turn John Cena heel. We won't have a plan. We'll turn the New Day heel. We won't have a plan. I really hope Paul Heyman is overseeing this Seth Rollins betrayal. I really do. Because if it's Helmsley, this goes nowhere but into a brick wall and maybe into traffic. Crowded traffic. That's where this Seth Rollins thing goes. Sorry, that was a little side rant because I just remembered the whole New Day breaking Big E. That was the last time he was really in the ring. And Helmsley botched it. That was good. Then they won titles from a couple of Vikings and sat in catering for a couple of months with them until they dropped it back over to the Judgment Day. Heels versus heels, by the way. That makes sense. Let's take the heel tag team that has the titles and let's give them to another heel team. Let's have a heel team beat the heel team and everybody gets over. Oh, wait. Nobody got over. Judgment Day's barely used unless it's dirty, dumb. And New Day is still... are they even a part of any of these shows? Xavier's walking around with a damn trash can lamp on his head. It's fitting Paul Levesque McMahon has them in black every single week because that's where he put their careers, into the ground. So Big E is back doing all of the pre-shows on like PLEs, and he's so damn good at it. So I think when he officially announces the retirement, which I think is, I mean, it could be any show by now. They could just throw him into the Hall of Fame and have him announce his retirement in the speech for all we know. But when he finally does hang it up, I hope he does a lot more than just pay-per-view pre-shows. Because he's really good, man. He is a very good on-air talent. So no matter what Big E decides to do, he's going to crush it. I know, but it's going to suck, man, because I held out that hope, even though I knew this isn't like a Kurt Angle situation, Edge, Steve Austin. But it does look like his in-ring career is indeed finished. Now, interestingly and ironically, the same time this story was kind of blowing up and Big E is telling all these people that are interviewing him and even telling fans that his in-ring career is pretty much, or at least most likely, it is done. It's finished. The same time the story breaks that Ridge Holland himself has announced WWE is giving him Das Boot. They're not bringing back Ridge Holland. When his contract expires, which is imminent, WWE is parting ways with him. They do not want to work with Ridge Holland anymore. That's ironic and interesting because that's the dude Big E took that belly to bed, took that suplex from when he got injured. Like, what are the chances we're talking, wow, Big E is retiring. And on the flip side, Ridge Holland is getting Das Boot from WWE. I do believe it is coincidence, but wow, man, what a coincidence. Man, They tried with Ridge Holland. They tried and they tried. And BC told you week after week, every time we saw Ridge Holland, I'm not seeing it. I'm not. Right? Because the thing was, they're really trying to work with him, BC. It's the Maxine thing, but a whole... It's like the Maxine situation, but totally different. I'll get to that in a few minutes. But with Ridge Holland, it's one of those situations where you're taking somebody that might have a presence, right? They got a look. And you're trying to make them a pro wrestler. You can't just make people pro wrestlers. That's what everybody has to realize. Or you can try, but you're going to fail 99 out of 100 times. That's a lot of times. You might strike gold once in a blue moon. But you can only teach so much to a professional wrestler or to a human to become a pro wrestler. That's why this performance center, it is literally designed to turn you into a pro wrestler, right? It's the ultimate transformation chamber. You walk into the performance center, a regular human, you come out a professional wrestler. There's just one problem. What stars are coming out of there? Who's coming out of there that's larger than life? Everybody, every wrestler that is in the performance center is like a carbon copy of one another. It's like an Amazon distribution assembly line. And every box looks the same off the assembly line. They'll look the same, talk the same. Nobody's got the charisma, personality, that larger than life aura. That's what you need to be a pro wrestler. You're hoping that they latch onto the moves and they know how to work safe and they know how to work with others. You know, those things you hope they have, of course. But if they don't have those other qualities from within, what we call in the industry the it factor, you have nothing. You're taking a guy like Ridge Holland because he has a look. And you're trying to make him a pro wrestler. And you can tell he's making pretend he's a pro wrestler. He's playing make-believe. And with Ridge Holland, we have to go, he's getting better. I feel he's improving. Hey, he had a better match. So in real time, he's on TV with training wheels. Sound familiar? Maxine, Jade Cargill, and many others. They do this several times when they want to take somebody who they think has the look and not much else. And they go, no, we want them right now on TV. Well, all right. You could have a botch fest with Jade Cargill, breaking people's necks with Ridge Holland, Johnny Gargano, Big E, they have stories. You can watch somebody not be able to hit a drop kick over the knees of Becky Lynch, Maxine. This is what you're going to get on TV. You're taking people that are just not pro wrestlers. They don't have that it factor for it. And you're trying to manufacture it. The problem is this is not an Amazon distribution assembly line. There's not Tide detergent, Reese Pieces, Swiffer cleaning solutions in those boxes being sent out. These are pro wrestlers, man. About to hit the TVs to try to captivate. I was going to say millions, but there's not that audience anymore. Thousands. So Ridge Holland, we had to hold his hand every time he was out. He's gotten better, I feel. He had no personality, no charisma. Now, he went back to NXT. Finally, they admitted, okay, he's got to, not only the training wheels have to stay on, we got to put an extra set of training wheels on Ridge Holland. They brought him back to NXT. Now, a lot of you guys were like, he's better here now, but the second time around, I feel he's finally getting it, basically. That's fine. But I checked it out a couple of times when he was NXT because I wanted to see his development. I saw the same thing, man. Did he improve a little bit in the ring? I would hope so. It's been another 2 years. I still saw a dude that's not captivating any of my interest or attention. The charisma, the personality, nothing screamed larger than life. It would be the opposite. Listen, if he wants to continue this thing, I literally wish him all the best. I was always pulling for the dude because it looked like WWE was invested in him. So I'm like, all right, if that's what we're stuck with, I hope he gets it. And if there is any charisma and personality in there, I hope he digs deep, finds it, lets it out. But if you're asking, am I shocked that WWE is parting ways with Ridge Holland? Of course not. I'm stunned that it took this long. He's been with the company for years. Do you know how coveted a roster spot is? Do you know how many really good wrestlers there are in the world that literally have some personality and charisma, by the way? You know, real wrestlers. That you don't have to overly train just to hope they can throw proper drop kicks and suplexes. No, they're ready to go. But they can't get a spot because there's people like Ridge Holland and Tamina Snuka and Maxine and Jade Cargill. I'm serious, man. These are people that are taking up roster spots. My TKO is losing money, right? So they have to triple charge you for PLEs that are the same damn garbage we've been getting for $9.99. You have to see more and more advertisers on the rings. More LED boards that are basically billboards of advertisement. The wrestlers soon will be wearing advertisements on their gear like it's NASCAR. And when you ask why, it's all the little things that add up. Like all these contracts for no reason. So no, not shocked that Ridge Holland is getting Das Boot, not being brought back by WWE, but it is just a wild coincidence that it's basically right around the time the story of Big E is breaking out that he is all but confirmed that he is retired. Now we have to move on to Maxine Dupri, the aforementioned Maxine. This is a wild story. Shouldn't be shocked. I told you guys, I literally, and I'm not using that word out of context like most people do. I literally told you guys what was going to happen. She's going to get a championship match, and they'll probably give her a championship, if not Monday, sometime soon. And fans are going to chant, "You deserve it," to Maxine! Because she's working harder at it. She's trying to get better at this wrestling thing. Well, my Amplified Unit subscribers and channel members over in Australia, they got word to BC that when that was announced, that Maxine is taking on Becky for the championship this Monday, the IC title. Told you that was happening. All Maxine did was beat Becky. Yeah, she beat the champion, by the way, a couple of Mondays ago, Becky Lynch. Maxine beat Becky via countout, and that got Maxine a title match. So if that's not stupid in itself, the fact that Maxine's going for a title, and she got that opportunity because she beat Becky via countout, they'll tell you a lot about this company. But my unit over in Australia said that when that was announced, and I guess some of you guys even said you heard it on TV when they announced it for SmackDown. Or was it Raw? Raw, right? Whichever show it was, because I missed it. The initial announcement, so I didn't hear the crowd react. But I have unit members that are in Australia who were there, and they said that chants broke out of "You deserve it" when they heard Maxine was going for a championship, going for Becky Lynch's IC title. Now, if you did catch my rant, it ended up being a rant on John Cena AJ Styles being called Match of the Year. That was in yesterday's second upload. It was a double upload day yesterday. But if you caught that rant, you know how I feel about these facade chants, because that's what it is. It's a facade. Over-embellished fake enthusiasm. Participation trophy. If you're a pro wrestler, you deserve a title, according to a big chunk of today's fans. Doesn't matter how long you've been there. Doesn't matter how good you are, what you've done, how many matches you've had. You deserve it, is what they will chant. They don't care if you're a heel. They didn't when Gunther won his titles. Nia Jax won her 12th title, whatever she's up to. The last time Nia won, you deserve it. She's a heel. Winning a title she's already had. You deserve it. They don't care. Seth Rollins was supposed to be the heel with Cody Rhodes, right? Seth Rollins wins the toy championship, the photo op crown jewel title. And they chant, you deserve it. What does he deserve? He's done everything in the... What do you mean he deserves a big photo op toy title? They just want to chant all the chants. Maxine Dupri. Fathom this. Comprehend this. Digest this. Maxine is going for a title. And I'm supposed to what? What do you want BC to do? Be ecstatic? Give you some fake enthusiasm? What kind of show do you think this is, man? This isn't the type of show, channel, where we BS the audience, sugarcoat, create fake facade enthusiasm. Oh man, unit. Maxine's going for the title this Monday. This is going to be so awesome. Maxine has worked so hard. She has been training her buns off. She's working hard. Natty's trying to train her. Her drop kick is getting a little higher. We think it's going to be to the vaginal area of Becky Lynch come Monday. She's just working harder, that's all. You know, she's been here for a while. It doesn't come easy to her. She's not a natural born pro wrestler. She doesn't necessarily have that it factor, so it's harder, you know? So she's got to work hard, and you know what? She deserves it. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Maxine Dupri, another wrestler with training wheels on during live television. Do you know how heavily rehearsed her matchup with Becky Lynch a couple weeks was? It was rehearsed for a 7-day period, we're hearing. They hadn't done that since Ronda Rousey's WrestleMania debut with Helmsley, Stephanie, and Kurt Angle. And they wanted that to be basically flawless. And guess what? They rehearsed it so much, they pulled it off. That was a really good match, and everybody was like, wow, Ronda's got the it factor. She's a natural-born wrestler. And what happened, guys? When Vince McMahon said, no, we no longer have the time or the resources to let you train for every match, what happened? Ronda Rousey was exposed, and that sucks. I was a huge Ronda Rousey supporter. You guys know that, my veteran subscribers. Sucks to say that. Wow, when she's not rehearsed, it's bad. Not as bad as Maxine, but it's bad. And what is Ronda Rousey saying in every interview, even recently, especially recently, if you ever caught a Ronda Rousey interview, especially recently talking about WWE and her frustrations with it, she's talking about how she didn't have enough time for the matches. She wanted more rehearsal time. You don't get that, bro! What happened is she got spoiled. They did that for her at WrestleMania, so she thought this is how it's always going to be. I'm going to be able to rehearse a week or two before every match. Several days, we'll rehearse everything. It'll be great. They'll fly Natty out. Whoever I'm facing. She got spoiled. After a couple years where you should probably have this wrestling thing down if you're a pro wrestler, but you still don't, that's on you. Maxine Dupri, heavily rehearsed with Becky Lynch. So they pulled off what many are calling a decent match. Whoa, they had a decent match. Commentary. Go back. I'm not spitting any lies here. These are nothing but truth bombs, I assure you. Because everything I'm telling you, you can literally go back, see for yourself. Listen to commentary during that match. And for the whole night, that one match, commentary was extra amplified. Wade Barrett talking about bangers. Michael Cole talking about how Maxine putting in one of the matches of the year. It was laughable and tragic at the same time. But they were being told by Helmsley, amp it up, amp it up. Get the audience really into it. Like Maxine. The world is behind Maxine, so they fabricated that. You can fabricate that, right? The live crowd is going to show up anyway to chant Maxine on, no question. They love that. They can't wait to yell, "You deserve it." Commentary is going to pump them up. But if you're just not a good pro wrestler, you're going to be exposed either way. And all of it will be for naught. Maxine Dupri right now is probably heavily rehearsing with Becky Lynch. Becky, I don't believe, made the trip to Australia. I don't believe Maxine did either. Don't have confirmation on that. But they've had a couple of weeks. By the time we get to Monday Night Raw, which is still, 5-6 days away, they'll have a couple of full weeks. They're once again having them heavily rehearse this match. So it looks like Maxine has this wrestling thing down. They're probably training her on the dropkick, right? They know that was really bad. Even Wade Barrett, they were trying to hype up Maxine. Even Wade Barrett had to throw a little dig in there. It wasn't the mark, but it was a mark. That's what Wade Barrett said, because it was so bad. So they're probably heavily training her to do a proper drop kick. You'll probably see it under the boobage area now, maybe. Heavily rehearsed. You can't keep that pace up. You can't keep doing that. You have it or you don't. Maxine could be a really good manager. I have no problem with her backstage. She could be a lot of things probably. Pay her a lot of money, have her be an on-air talent, have her kick ass. That's fine. Not literally though, because it is clear. An actual professional wrestler, she is not. I don't even know if she's an athlete. Does she have a gymnastics background or volleyball or anything? Because when she runs around that ring, it's unorthodox. It's bad. It's goofy. That's the best word I can. It's goofy. It's somebody who's playing the role of a professional wrestler. I don't care if that's harsh or not. This is a real critique channel. And we're trying to get the best professional wrestling shows. We're not going to BS the audience and in turn not get the best possible product because we're not trying to hurt feelings. We're not coddling. They're spoiling Maxine with these training wheels. I bring this up several times at the house show when she was going to the back and one fan was heckling, going, "You suck, Maxine, don't come back." And that literally became a thing. Maxine cried about it. Rhea Ripley, who always does, she never misses an opportunity to throw jabs at fans. Rhea Ripley, much like Hunter Hearst Helmsley, can't stand fans. So Ripley and some other female talent came to the aid of Maxine. This is so wrong. She worked so hard just to be berated. The guy was literally, the literal words he said was, "You suck, Maxine, don't come back." That's all he said. It was heckling. He paid a lot of money to say, "You suck." I say it all the time. Kurt Angle made a fortune off of being told he sucked. They put it into a song. He made lots of money. WWE made loads of money. Rocky was told much more. Rocky Maivia, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He was told way worse than "you suck." And he turned it into a fortune. WWE turned it into a fortune. In 2025, if you get told you suck, you cry about it. No, we're not holding the hand of Maxine because the rest of the community wants to or feels the need to. No, it's time to take the training wheels off. And no, BC's not excited or looking forward to seeing Maxine go for a title Monday. Because it's just another area where we are taking what we all grew up loving, professional wrestling, and giving the rest of the world something to just laugh at. Another farce. And we shall move on. The big story of today's show. Seth Rollins, did he find a shield in the aftermath of this ultimate betrayal? Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. No. We'll get to him in a second. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They all turn on Seth Rollins at the conclusion of this week's Monday Night Raw. Now, there is talk that Rollins was injured during the match with Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, possibly when he took that top rope crossroads and miraculously kicked out. Another area where we are exposing pro wrestling to be a farce. I can't stand it. Finishers don't mean anything these days. It is pathetic. Now we're doing avalanche, top rope, crossroads. And wrestlers are kicking out at 2.5. A top rope crossroads. What wrestler is going to lose on a regular crossroads now? They're going to look like a weenie. If the agent in Hunter Hearst Helmsley tells a wrestler, yeah, you're going to lose to one crossroads, all right? He's going to say, I'm going to be a weenie. Wrestlers don't want to be weenies. We're supposed to watch a pro wrestler lose to one crossroads now? Now all of a sudden you're going to protect the finish? John Cena delivers 18 AAs to everybody he faces these days, and everyone kicks out of him. John Cena takes everybody's finisher 14 times. Roman Reigns delivers 6 Superman punches, 9 spears. And wrestlers kick out all 15 times. Pat McAfee is taking a nap during Gunther's choke finisher. A nap. He's taking a nap. 2.5 minutes later, he just gets out of it when he wakes up from his nap. But at Mania, Jey Uso is tapping Gunther out to his own choke in 8 seconds. There's no consistency with any of this. I know a lot of you guys because you tell BC on the constant. You miss when finishers actually finished somebody. When finishers mattered. And when they hit it, it was that climactic moment in the match. It's not anymore. Now you're just like, whoa, he hit it again. Oh, he kicked out though. So anyway, Rollins could indeed be injured. He was seen with a sling after that match in Australia. Again, I have people that were there at the events, and I can confirm that. Now, how serious is the injury? Would that keep him out of a War Games? Would that keep him out even longer? Would he have to vacate a title? His world title? We know none of that as of this recording. All we can go on is speculation for what the future looks like for Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. And they are drastic, yet could be badass. Because for Seth Rollins, his receipt, his retribution, revenge, his shield from Paul Heyman's new vision could be some unlikely alliances. CM Punk and Roman Reigns, 2/3 of the Shield. And some would look at this as an upgraded Shield, right? Would you guys rather Dean Ambrose, Mox, in there with Rollins and Roman to go into War Games? Or would you rather CM Punk? Which is the more ultimate Shield, Mox or Punk? A lot of people would look at Punk as the upgrade, and that could be what's forming. If not for War Games, I definitely think this match is going to happen. Because on the flip side, Paul Heyman, I do believe, is going to bring in Brock Lesnar. And I don't know that dynamic because I was really thinking Braun Breaker is going to be the breakout, no pun intended, star of this faction now. Because when he speared Rollins, he went up to Bronson Reed and said, you're with me or you're with him. And he's knocked out. Obviously, you want to be with the winner. You want to be with Braun Breaker. So then they tell Paul Heyman, you're with us. Or you're with him. It looked like Breaker was the leader, but if Brock Lesnar comes back, I mean, let's be honest. Everybody is in the shadow of Brock Lesnar. So they'd have to do it in a way where they kind of keep them apart, but he is with Paul Heyman. But I do believe Paul Heyman is bringing Brock Lesnar back, and the story writes itself, right? Paul Heyman wants to end the 3 dudes that he used to manage. All of them he turned his back on. And he doesn't want them down the line to get any receipts on him. So he's bringing in Brock Lesnar back. He's doing business with Brock to take care of this problem. And he has got the services now of some supposed badasses, right? Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Brock Lesnar. And they, collectively, will finish off the 3 dudes that Paul Heyman has already stabbed in the back. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Story writes itself if they want it. And I say the unlikely of alliances over on the face side of things, right? Rollins and Roman have to work together before the common cause of their bitter enemy. And CM Punk, whether he likes it or not, he's involved in all of this now. He's got a championship opportunity too, so it's another layer to all of this, especially if you're going to have a face versus face, which I can't stand. If you have a good story to it, and there's a lot of background to it, it's all we can ask for. There's a lot here if they choose to go this route. A lot of it is going to fall on Rollins' injury. Is it just something he needs a couple weeks off from? You know, he is very injury prone, man, and especially his style of wrestling. He gets injured a lot. And this is like a shoulder arm injury. This isn't even his messed up legs. He's had those knee issues, obviously. Now it's not good. So now when he gets injured, you notice, like, he's done this several times in 2025. He just takes many weeks off. A lot of the times you guys didn't even notice because he was still on TV. But if he's ready to go, and if it's War Games, that brings up a really good thought, right? Who do they keep it just 6? I think this would be the first time they just have 6 dudes inside of the double cage, but would they add soldiers to the battlefield? I mean, for the faces, Roman Reigns already told the Usos he doesn't want to see them till the holidays, till Christmas. So this was actually pretty swift, I gotta say. If this was the road, the map that they were going on, this was funny for Roman to tell the Usos, I don't want to see you till Christmas. So then when people go, oh wait, Roman was with the Usos. So how can he just go with now CM Punk and Seth Rollins to fend this group off? Well, he literally said a crown jewel. He was pissed at his cousins again. So he said, I don't want to see you till the holidays. So technically, storyline-wise, this could easily work. And the Usos would have nothing to do with this. But if you do need 2 more dudes, if it is War Games, do you have the Usos or do you bring in LA Knight? Because he's already had this thing with CM Punk. And he's already had this beef with the Vision. And then to pop the crowd, do they bring back Home Depot Sam Zayn to help out Roman? And for the Vision, who would Paul Heyman bring in? I don't think it would be anybody that would literally be with the Vision. Does he cut a deal one night only with Gunther, who's been gone for the longest of times? He really needs a spark when he comes back because Helmsley has ruined any badassery. And Gunther, does Gunther fit in all of this? Who's the 2 dudes that Paul Heyman would even bring in with Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed? Does anybody fit? That's why this really should just be, I can't stand 6-man tag matches, but there's a lot of story here. I wouldn't even need 5 and 5. But I don't know if they can have a War Games with just 6. So do they do it at War Games? Is this supposed to go into maybe the December 13th, is it? The big Saturday night's main event that they're really bulking up like it's a PLE? John Cena's farewell match, his last match ever in WWE, last match in pro wrestling. Are they really going to try to bulk it up with that big 6-man tag? It's wild, you know? Everyone had this concern, oh, what about War Games? But I'm thinking whether this is at War Games or not, I'm thinking the possibilities now, even though Helmsley absolutely, there's a good chance, and he most likely will screw most, if not all of this up. The most we can ask for is that Paul Heyman is overseeing this. But just the options we have now are more fun or intriguing than what we had when Seth was with the Vision. So I don't know why everybody is so concerned. What fun was it going to be? The Vision versus Bootleg Bloodline. The Bloodline reunion. We're going to redo what we did a few years ago. The Usos, maybe Sami Zayn, it'll be Roman. And they'll take on who? The Vision. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, who nobody cares about. And try to add in Brock Lesnar, but it's not even close at that. But mid-gym, Brock Lesnar could snap both of the Usos at once. With Sami Zayn on his back. It's not believable. Nobody cared about the Vision. It didn't work. It was weird. Now let's watch them go into War Games and take on the Bloodline from years ago. No, this is way more Brock Lesnar with Breaker and Bronson. Instead of watching some weird triple threat match at WrestleMania that made no sense, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Put them as a unit. Shield up and take on the Beast and his boys. If done correctly, this is way better than what we could have gotten. The key words there, if done correctly. A lot to ponder. That's your Amped Up Tuesday, the 14th of October of the year 2025. Is Seth shielding up? Is Paul's big plan? Does it involve a beast? And when do these boys get it on? Amped up until next time. And there will be that next time. BC in the unit. We're saying check you. Salute.